We all know the temptation. You hear a story about someone hitting the lottery, or you see a trendy cryptocurrency spike overnight, and the urge to chase that sudden windfall kicks in. But pinning your financial future on these hopes is dangerous. When you build a wealth strategy purely on emotion and wishful thinking, you are setting yourself up for a catastrophic collapse. The top 1% do not operate on hope. They build generational wealth in a hyperlogical environment, stripping away feelings to focus entirely on math. True wealth begins the exact moment you abandon the fantasy of a quick payday and accept the cold, mechanical rules of how money actually moves. This objective approach is exactly how billionaire Ray Dalio built Bridgewater Associates and amassed a net worth of over $19 billion. He credits his fortune not to luck, but to a rigid adherence to objective reality. Dalio treats the global economy as a massive interlocking machine. Every transaction is a logical gear turn, governed by the mechanical laws of supply and demand. This machine dictates the basic cost of living. It sets the prices on the shelves and the value of the currency in our wallets. This is why you have to understand macroeconomic indicators. Metrics like gross domestic product, inflation, and unemployment rates tell you the health of the machine. Remaining ignorant of them leaves you completely exposed to systemic disaster. You cannot protect your money, let alone grow it, if you are actively fighting reality. You have to learn how this machine operates. Dalio realized early on that vague ambitions like wanting to be rich are useless. Instead, he translates ambition into a ruthless, logical, 5-step diagnostic process to guarantee execution. Step 1. Set a specific numerical target. Step 2. Explicitly identify the problems standing in your way. Step 3. Diagnose the root causes of those failures. Step 4. Design a logical bypass. Step 5. Execute. A plan is useless without completing the tasks. This 5-step process removes ego from the equation. It trains you to treat your personal financial shortcomings simply as engineering flaws to be patched. Part of that engineering is understanding that global markets move in cycles. Economies rise and fall. The wealthy anticipate these downturns and ride the waves rather than panicking during a crash. They also know simply hoarding money in a savings account triggers a devastating penalty. Inflation silently destroys the purchasing power of stagnant cash over time. To defend against this, they use diversification. Spreading capital across various assets, such as stocks, bonds, and real estate, cushions the inevitable blow of a bad investment. This chart shows the offensive engine of wealth, compound interest. Look at the massive divergence over 30 years. Extreme patience and mathematical consistency will always outperform a get-rich-quick scheme. Mastering these mechanics allows educated investors to exploit market cycles, while those who ignore them are crushed by the turning gears. Even the most educated investors will eventually back a failing idea. When that happens, a fierce conflict breaks out between cold market reality and the creator's ego. Dalio demands that you stress test your ideas before committing real capital. You have to actively invite harsh criticism and intentionally try to break your own plan. If a venture is clearly failing, you must execute the painful discipline of cutting your losses. Holding on to a dying asset out of stubborn pride is the fastest route to absolute ruin. Separating your emotional attachment from cold financial data is incredibly difficult. Yet in this ecosystem, it is the vital trait required for survival. Earning a high income does not mean you are wealthy. If lifestyle inflation consumes every dollar you make, you are simply trapped in a higher stakes paycheck cycle. To convert capital into lasting wealth, you have to pay yourself first. This means automatically routing a percentage of your income directly to investments before a single bill or luxury is paid. Maintaining this architecture requires alignment. You have to negotiate clear expectations with your team and partners so that everyone understands the exact goals driving your decisions. Calculated risks involve the certainty of mistakes. These failures provide the raw data needed to refine your strategy over the long haul. Generational wealth rarely happens by accident. It is the cumulative result of enduring patience, emotional discipline, and a persistent objective adherence to reality.